Kick-off at 7:45 tonight at Easter Road. Newcastle's players still going through their pre-match routine with Steve Bruce's staff, Steve Agnew and Stephen Clements, working with the starting 11 on the far side of the pitch. The subs just doing their own thing with a couple of footballs, and Simon Smith is still with the club. He was already in place when Rafa Benitez arrived, and Smith, who worked at United during the Sir Bobby Robson days, retained his position as goalkeeping coach even after Benitez departed earlier this summer. They've got one more friendly, Newcastle, before they take on Arsenal in the Premier League a week on Sunday in a 2 o'clock kickoff. That's against Saint-Etienne of France on Saturday afternoon at 3. But here they'll be playing a Hibs team that's probably well ahead of them in terms of fitness and match sharpness, given this will be their 8th game, 4 competitive ones and 3 friendlies of the summer. So be a good test physically for Newcastle United this evening, we think. We'll get the thoughts of Steve Bruce before too long. We spoke to him after the Preston defeat on Saturday afternoon, but let's hear now from Newcastle United's new record signing, the man who's been given the number 9 shirt. Joelinton, who made his first appearance as a half-time substitute at the weekend, has been speaking to BBC Newcastle about his move from Hoffenheim in Germany to Tyneside.
I'm really happy to be here. I feel really good. I've been made to feel really welcome by the other players, by the people at the club and by the fans. In terms of the transfer fee, I'll leave that off the pitch. Obviously, I want to meet expectations and pay it back on the pitch.
For the Newcastle fans who haven't seen you play before, what would you say your main qualities are?
What I'd say is that I'm the type of player that, gives their everything on the pitch, running, fighting, struggling. I intend to honour this shirt and give my everything and contribute to, and help the club get victories. I hope to score lots of goals, which will make the fans happy. I'm feeling motivated, I feel great, and I hope to score lots of goals.
And can you tell us a little bit about your life and your career before you moved to Europe?
I come from a small town in the countryside of the state of Pernambuco. I'm a laid-back guy, and it's always been my dream to become a footballer. And that opportunity came about at Sport Club Recife. I joined them when I was 14 years old and spent 4 years there. I made a lot of friends there. I developed as a person. I learnt a lot. And it was really good for me there, and I take that background with me for the rest of my life. I carry that with me.
Will you feel much pressure about wearing the number 9 shirt at Newcastle?
I hope not. I think we need to leave that pressure to one side. I'm aware of the responsibility and the weight of the number 9 shirt. I'm really happy that the club have given me the number 9 shirt, and I'm really grateful for the faith the club has shown in me with this honour. But I'm relaxed about it. I intend to working hard day in, day out. Things should happen naturally to meet the expectations of the number 9 shirt.
Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Newcastle, the only place for North East sport.
Good to hear from Joelinton, Newcastle United's only signing of the summer so far. The window closes 5 o'clock next Thursday afternoon. John Anderson, we were at Deepdale on Saturday and we saw the Brazilian come on and make an impact straight away. Won a penalty, didn't take the penalty, but I think our impression, we were agreed that he was lively, sharp, his touch was good, you can see he's athletic, and there were some promising signs.
Yeah, I mean, we only seen 45 minutes of him. His movement was decent, he won the penalty. You'd like to see him over 90 minutes. This is a kid who he hasn't got time to find his feet. You know, basically he needs to hit the ground running. He needs to start scoring goals. Yeah, the signs were decent, and people listening will say, well, yeah, they should be decent if you spend £40 million on them. But he's a big, strong boy. He's got a little bit of nastiness about him as well, which I liked. You know, he put himself about, wasn't afraid to put himself in. But another opportunity to see him tonight. Be good to see how the relationship with him and Almiron develops. You know, they'll need to get to know one another. Almiron, for all his quickness and everything else, he needs to start delivering as well. You know, he needs to start creating chances. He needs to start scoring goals. So a little bit of pressure on the front too, to be quite honest.
And there is pressure on them because also they don't have many other options. So right now, as it stands, you've got Joe Ellington with the number 9 expected to start.
Yeah.
But as we were saying, if something happens to him, Newcastle will probably have themselves a problem, because Yoshinori Muto is here and is fit and has done okay in pre-season, but you think he probably needs somebody big up there alongside him. You've got Dwight Gale at the moment who's injured, and I think that's one of the issues about the size and the depth of the squad, that, you know, the players that have been here for the last 3 years have earned the respect of the supporters for what a good job they've done in getting promoted, finishing 10th, finishing 13th with 1 more point than the 10th placed season. But, you know, they need a little bit of help as well, don't they? They need something a little bit extra, because if they don't freshen things up, if they don't add to their options, if they don't strengthen in terms of quality and numbers, then I think it just makes it harder for everybody overall, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the depth of the squad is a worry. You know, you look at the starting 11 and you think, yeah, decent, bit of strength in there, but then you look beyond that and you start to worry if you were to pick up injuries in certain areas. I think we're well covered at centre back. Wing back positions, as we've already mentioned, has been a concern for quite a number of years. The front areas, obviously, you know, you lose your 2 main goal scorers from last season. You bring in a new boy, but needs to be one more, at least one more in that position, and another front man. But we'll keep our fingers crossed that happens before next Thursday.
It's BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. Remember, Total Sport every weekday from 5 with the latest news from St James's Park and the Stadium of Light, and we take your calls from 5:30 until 7. Newcastle this evening with Darlow in goal, Cher, Lascelles, Dummett, the back 3, the 3 central defenders, Manquillo and Ritchie either side, Hayden, Shelvey and Sean Longstaff in the middle, and Almiron and Joe Ellington up front. Sean Longstaff starts for the first time in pre-season, Ando, and he needs the minutes, doesn't he, because he got the injury against West Ham in March, and it was a partial tear of the posterior ligament in his knee. It kept him out for a little while. He worked hard in the summer when everyone was on their holidays to get himself into the right shape, but they're not taking any risks with him in pre-season. But a start tonight, and if he can play more than 45 minutes, will surely be of great benefit.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he needs to get some game time. Hasn't had a great deal of that. I mean, he was a revelation last season when he bust on the scene. The games that he played against some of the top sides in the Premier League, and he was outstanding. He didn't look out of place whatsoever. But he needs to get some game time under his belt. There's no point in they haven't taken any chances with him. They haven't really rushed him back. They wanted to make sure that he was 100%. Whether he finishes the 90 minutes tonight or not, I would be surprised, but it's good that he's starting the game.
And the point we made earlier is that this lineup probably resembles Newcastle's strongest available 11, or what we think Steve Bruce will try to go with against Arsenal, because Yedlin is injured, Dubravka's not here tonight. You would say that they would probably come in, but the rest of it, with Lejeune injured as well, but a long-term injury, looks pretty strong. So it's good in that sense that we're going to see, or maybe get a better idea of how they're going to go about things in that opening Premier League fixture.
Yeah, I mean, obviously if Dubravka's available, he's here, he plays. It's as simple as that. He's the number one. If Yedlin doesn't play against St Etienne, he doesn't play against Arsenal, because he's had no pre-season, he's had no game time. So it would be difficult to see him throwing him straight in against Arsenal on the opening day. As for the rest, probably picks itself. You know, if Manquillo came in the back end of last season, thought he did all right, didn't think he'd done anything wrong. He was nice and steady. Obviously hasn't got the legs of Yedlin, not as quick, doesn't get us forward as quick as Yedlin, but I thought he'd done all right. Hayden, Longstaff and Shelby looks like that they're going to be the three midfield players, and obviously the two boys up front, three centre backs and Richie, they definitely picked themselves.
And Newcastle's bench: Woodman, Clark, Key, Murphy, Muto, Aarons, Fernandez, Sterry and Longstaff. Rolando Aarons back, played under Steve Bruce at Sheffield Wednesday during a loan spell in the second half of last season. It seems that every summer we're talking about Rolando Aarons, and could this be the year when it comes together for him, because he's undoubtedly talented. He started at the weekend, played up there with Muto. Do you see him having much of a future at Newcastle United? Perhaps this could be his final chance if he does get an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's worked with the manager before, or the coach before. He's been at Sheffield Wednesday with him, did okay apparently. Big season for him, you know. As you say, could well be his last opportunity. He's always flattered to deceive a little bit. When he first broke on the scenes, everybody was shouting that he was going to Manchester City and he was going here and he was going there, and that was after 2-3 games. So he needs to knuckle down. He got an opportunity the weekend against Preston, didn't do a great deal, if I'm perfectly honest. You know, whether he gets any more game time, whether he gets game time tonight, whether he gets on the pitch, we're just going to have to wait and see. It's
BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. We're about 10 minutes away from kick-off here in Edinburgh. Hibernian against Newcastle United in a pre-season friendly. Let's hear from the head coach, Steve Bruce. This is what he said to BBC Newcastle after the Magpies were beaten by Preston in their friendly match in Lancashire on Saturday.
Well, I thought there was a lot of positives. In the result-wise, we scored the penalty and it could have been an easy afternoon in awful conditions. I don't think I've ever played a game in the middle of bloody July, wherever it is, and we're playing like this. It's like a February day. It's not far off being waterlogged, but yeah, there was a lot of positives to take. I think it was imperative that we got some competitive game time. And as I said, I made wholesale changes everywhere. So it was always going to be a training session for us. We work again tomorrow. There are a lot of positives. Obviously, the first time I've seen the two strikers for a start, and I was very, very impressed with little Miggy, even though he missed a penalty. It would have been nice for him to score, because I believe he hasn't scored yet. So it would have been nice to get him up and running.
And we saw the new boy, Joe Ellington, for the second half. I mean, immediate impact, winning the penalty, and he looked lively throughout.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to be a big player for us, of course, and that's what we want him to be. You know, his attitude towards it is fantastic, and he's got a huge appetite, and I'm sure he'll do very, very well.
You had a few young players with you today. Some of them stayed on the bench, but you gave Matty Longstaff the chance to start in midfield. What would you say about him?
Well, he played very, very well out in China, and I thought he deserved a little go. You know, he did well in the first half. He was a bit enthusiastic with some of his challenges, but he was very, very good first half. I was delighted with him. He's had a really good couple of weeks with it. I hope that continues.
And there's a few players, the likes of Jack Colback, Rolando Aarons, obviously, who you know.
The one thing for everybody concerned is that, look, you know, I can't comment on what's happened in the past, but everybody in the squad, everybody in the squad will start from a fresh slate, and I think that's the best way and only way really when you walk into a football club. I'm not going to ostracise anybody until I have a good look and see what they've got.
No Martin Dubravka today. Why is that?
Well, we just wanted to have the goalkeeper to get some minutes too, and Darlow probably played Hibs on Tuesday, and I just felt it's important that the goalkeepers rotate and have a little bit of game time just in case something happens to a number one, and they can be ready.
Any further injuries today ahead of Hibs?
No. Touch wood.
Yeah.
No.
And anyone closer to returning, do you think, for Tuesday? Gale, Atsu?
I can't see it by Tuesday, no.
And finally, just on transfers, are you any closer to anything?
Well, I haven't spoken to anybody for the last 6 hours, so maybe I'll know a little bit more tonight. But yeah, we're just going to have to be a bit patient. It's very difficult these times, but we're quietly confident that we're edging towards one or two.
Time of our lives.
You can now play Time of Our Lives 7 days a week.
We'll play the big hits from a mystery year and ask you to guess it.
Let's push your memory buttons back to a time of our lives.
Every day from 12 noon. Time of our lives.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East. North East Sport.
Matthew Raisbeck and black and white legend John Anderson.
BBC Newcastle, the only place for North East sport.
And some thoughts there from Steve Bruce, mostly on the match against Preston, but one or two other subjects, and we will be asking him for the latest on transfers after the final whistle here tonight, and again about Martin Dubravka, who is absent from the Newcastle United squad. We await the teams. They are in the tunnel down below. We're at the back of the main stand, the west stand here at Easter Road. It is a two-tiered stand and filling up quite nicely, but a lot of empty green seats in the other two home sections. Away to our right, two-tiered south stand, probably a couple of thousand, maybe getting on for 3,000 by the time everyone is in supporting Newcastle United tonight. The team: Darlow in goal, Cher, Lascelles and Dummett, Manquillo and Ritchie in the wing-back roles, Hayden, Shelvey, Longstaff, Sean Longstaff that is, starting in central midfield, Almiron and Joelinton up front. On the bench, Woodman, Clark, Key, Murphy, Muto, Aarons, Fernandez, Sterry and Matty Longstaff. Hibernian, Afia, Marciano in goal, a back four of Tom James, Darren McGregor, Paul Hanlon and Sean Mackey. Across midfield, Fraser Murray, Stevie Mallon, Bikintas Slivka and Joe Newell, and two in attack, Ollie Shaw and Florian Camberry. Newcastle have played a few friendlies north of the border in recent years. 2 years ago they were at Hearts, Hibs' big rivals across the city of Edinburgh. They won 2-1. Dwight Gale got both goals in that match. I seem to remember Siem de Jong, remember him, had a really good game that night, but left Newcastle United not long after that. And then back in 2013 they won 4-2 at Motherwell, 2-0 at St Mirren and drew 1-1 with Rangers. And in 2010 they were beaten 2-1 by Rangers in Glasgow. But this is their first trip to Hibs for any kind of outing since 1984. And if you were listening to Total Sport on BBC Newcastle from 5, we were discussing this. They played in a testimonial match for Jackie McNamara Senior and you were playing, John Anderson.
Was, yeah.
And who else played in that game? Just for anyone that didn't catch.
George Best.
Yeah, our discussion earlier.
Yeah.
He made it. Was it a guest appearance?
He made a guest appearance for Hibs. Yeah, he was brilliant. He was excellent, and he was way past his best night in the ball.
Team still in the tunnel. Some of the ground staff just putting forks into the penalty area away to our left. Pitch looks good. It's been raining, as it seems to have been pretty much everywhere for the last few days. It was raining quite heavily about half an hour ago, but it has stopped and the floodlights are on, and it's brightened up as well. The dark grey clouds that were overhead a couple of hours ago when we arrived seem to have disappeared, but the floodlights have brightened everything up, and we just await the players. The match ball is on some sort of plinth in front of the tunnel. It's rare that you see that now, isn't it? Referee, here he comes, picks it up. John Beaton, the man in the middle, in light blue. The officials, black shorts and black socks, and Newcastle United and Hibernian take to the field behind the referee and his two assistants. Jamal Lascelles leading the Magpies out in black and white stripes, black shorts and black socks. Carl Darlow, the keeper, in the new pink goalkeeping kit with a bit of purple trim, and Hibernian in green shirts with white sleeves, white shorts and green socks. Their keeper, Afia Marciano, all in yellow. Darlow in goal, Cher, Lascelles, Dummett, Manquillo and Ritchie the wing-backs, Hayden, Shelby, Sean Longstaff, Almiron and Joelinton up front for Newcastle United. You will want to see, John Anderson, I'm sure, something perhaps a bit more intense than we got at Preston at the weekend, given that they are one match closer to the start of the Premier League season.
Yeah, you'd want to see a little bit more pace to it. There wasn't a great deal of pace to the game at the weekend. Conditions didn't help, though, you would have to say. They were a little bit treacherous. A lot of surface water on the pitch. But yeah, you'd like to see a little bit more tonight. I think you will as well, because I mean, the two sides that he put out at the weekend, there was a mix and match. You know, this is a far stronger starting 11 than either of the two that he put out on Saturday at Preston.
It's BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. We're also live on NUFC TV. Newcastle's players with high fives and fist pumps by the centre circle. Jamal Lascelles is going to contest the coin toss on the halfway line, and having done so, the ball is put onto the centre spot by the referee, John Beaton. The assistants, by the way, Frank Connor on this near side and Sean Carr on the far side. There is no fourth official listed on the team sheet or on the programme tonight. And we are just about all set to go. Hibernian are going to kick us off here. Ball is at the feet of Ollie Shaw, one of their two centre forwards, and we are now underway. BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East and NUFC TV. A foul was about to be given against Joelinton after a couple of seconds after Hibs kicked off, but they retained possession, so the referee let it go. Newcastle United defending the goal to our right, so kicking right to left as we look in this first half, and they've won it back on the far side, but then it goes out of play off Isaac Hayden, and it's a Hibs throw in the left full-back position, and good noise already from the away supporters. Back to the keeper from Hibs and sent left-footed up to halfway. Fabian Cher tries to flick it back towards Jamal Lascelles. Hibs win it, and Sean Longstaff gets possession for Newcastle in midfield, and Manquillo lifts one over the top. It's not a bad ball actually for Isaac Hayden to chase. It's sent down the line by Hibs and out of play it goes. Throw in for Newcastle, right-hand side, middle of the opposition's half. Back it goes to Cher, and Lascelles at the back of the centre circle. Over to Dummett. Controls with his left, passes it back to Lascelles. He takes a touch across his body, and now it's with Cher, looking to dink one over the top for Joelinton. Cut out. It's come as far as Shelvey in midfield to Almiron. Shelvey then plays it back to Dummett on halfway down the left to Matt Ritchie. Sean Longstaff ahead of him. Ritchie delivers a ball into the middle. Almiron was closest, but it was too close to Ofir Marciano in the Hibs goal.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst ball played in. Decent start. They've been nice and bright. We spoke about being a bit pacey, a bit quicker, and they've started that way, there's no doubt about that.
Hibs in possession in the Newcastle half on the left-hand side through the young left-back Sean Mackey. Longstaff puts pressure on Stevie Mallon in midfield. Hibs still with it, trying to work something up to the edge of the Newcastle box, and now they win a corner on the right-hand side. Vykintas Slivka made a burst from midfield, the Lithuanian international, and first corner of the game away to our right to the home team. 0-0 though in the opening couple of minutes here.
Tell you what, there's some travelling support, isn't it?
And already making themselves heard. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging corner. Newcastle have got Matt Ritchie by the front post. He now moves over to the back post, but the ball's headed away by John Joe Shelvey on the 6-yard line and out to that far side where Hibs keep it in play. Newcastle push up, and from wide left they send a flat ball into the box. Lascelles stabs it clear, kept alive by Hibs. Canberry, the centre forward, out to the right-hand side, but then lost by Stevie Mallon. Tried to knock it around Matt Ritchie, but ran out of room. Newcastle have a throw. Ritchie takes it. Longstaff lets it run and then lifts it over the heads of Hibs players in green and white and finds Manquillo on the far side. Cher in the area, square to Lascelles. Dummett to Ritchie now on the left. Newcastle. Shelvey, first time ball, left-footed, finds the feet of Joelinton. Bright red boots and bright hair. The Brazilian, who gives it and goes through the middle, doesn't get it. Almiron has his foot on it, right-hand side just past halfway. Here's Hayden, back to Cher in their own half of the field. United. Dummett. Ritchie comes short. Dummett goes long to Longstaff, who holds the ball, keeps possession, finds Ritchie, gets it back, and now Shelvey. One-touch stuff from Newcastle between Shelvey and Almiron. Then Shelvey with that diagonal ball for Manquillo to chase. It's a great first touch. Joelinton in the middle, slid behind for a corner by Hibs.
What a take, what a great touch, Manquillo. Good ball played by Shelvey, but it just jumped off the surface. A lot of rain here and it zipped up at him. First touch was brilliant. Good defending by Hibs.
Just in the nick of time. I think it was Paul Hanlon who got there, the number 4, to slide in and stick it behind. Matt Ritchie will take the corner. 4 minutes played, 0-0. Almiron inside the 6-yard box. They've got 4 players at the back of the area. It's sent in, looking for Joelinton at the back stick. Cleared away, Dummett fires it into the area. Hibs then head it back to the keeper, who just about sliding on the goal line, well wide of the goal, prevents another corner.
Did well actually, the defender. Good awareness of where everybody was. Keeper's gone full stretch, but it's been a decent start.
It goes downfield and all the way through to Darlow. And John Joe Shelvey, who spoke when Newcastle were in China, didn't he, about the difference that Steve Bruce has made for him personally and how Bruce is communicating with him, which he likes. And this is going to be a big season for him because last year was interrupted by injuries. On the ball there again to release Fabian Cher, who's driving forwards through for Joelinton. Sliding challenge on him at the edge of the area, and Hibs win the ball back.
Yeah, needed to be a bit sharper, didn't he? Needed to get it out of his feet earlier. Gave the defender the opportunity to get in and get a tackle.
Nice stuff from the hosts, played forward and then helped out to the right-hand side. Dangerous ball in. Had plenty of bend on it, but too close to Carl Darlow from the cross from the right winger Fraser Murray. And Newcastle keeper plays it short to Shelvey, who went long for Joelinton.
Very open, isn't it?
And back to
very stretched the game.
Marciano in the Hibs goal, 0-0. It's been a decent enough start, though, probably because it's been so open.
Without a doubt.
Hayden.
Yeah, it's not condensed, is it?
Which is something we've been used to, so we've become accustomed to. And Isaac Hayden there on it again, just the other side of halfway. Back to Lascelles. Cher now, Almiron deep to Shelvey, first time to Longstaff. Joelinton on the move, they've slipped it through. Hayden's after it, he might get there, he does get there. Right hand side in the penalty area. Man at his back, support from Manquillo, about 15 yards out. High ball into the box, Ritchie coming in, and it's headed away from Matt Ritchie. And Hibs have outnumbered him 3-1 and play it down the line on this near side. They're looking to make things happen, though. The intent is there, isn't it, to play forwards from Shelvey, certainly, as we're used to, but Longstaff also. And Isaac Hayden, as we saw against Preston at the weekend, keen to join in the attack. Hibs on an attack of their own right-hand side, ball into the middle, Lascelles stabs it away. Ritchie hooks it over his shoulder, comes down here to Stevie Mallon. Shot is blocked. Dummett and Lascelles now with time and space at the edge of the area. But Hayden getting forward is something we might see more of if he plays as one of a three.
Well, it looks like there's a little bit more freedom. They're not as rigid. Like central midfield players aren't as rigid. They're allowed to go and get the ball, get forward a little bit more freedom about it.
7 minutes played on BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. Goalless. Lascelles to Cher, middle of the Newcastle half. Cher, the right-sided central defender. Lascelles in the middle, Dummett at the left. There's the diagonal ball, the switch. Ritchie's on his bike. Just bounces up and over his head. Bit unfortunate. And Hibernian throwing in the right full-back position. Just down below from where we are sitting. Newcastle have tried to squeeze and keep them boxed in. You play it square and then it's helped on. Headed forwards to Shaw, the striker. And a diagonal pass from Stevie Mallon. Out to the left-hand side to Joe Newell. He's got support on the overlap from Mackie, the full-back. They've got three in the box. High ball left-footed, nodded down at the edge of the area. Here's a chance and a goal for Hibernian from Stevie Mallon. Left-footed from the edge of the area. Fired it past Carl Darlow. Diving to his right, mid-height, but he couldn't get anything on it, couldn't prevent it. Going into the back of the net, and the player who started the move with the switch from the right side of central midfield finishes it with a goal for the Scottish Premiership team. 9 minutes gone, Hibernian 1, Newcastle United 0.
Decent goal, decent move. Got the overlap down that left-hand side. Ball played deep to the back post, headed back across goal. Good first touch at the edge of the box, coming onto it, got it out of his feet. Smacked it left-footed. Darlow, no chance.
And it had been bright enough at times from Newcastle, but they are behind.
It's been bright from both sides because, as I say, it's stretched, it's open.
They're looking for Joelinton here. Ball comes off his knee and goes through to the Hibernian goalkeeper. They have been beaten by Wolves. Matt Ritchie's down, he's got a problem, he's on his knees. He gets to his feet. Hibs have knocked the ball out. Ritchie's come over to the side of the pitch. Rolando Aarons is coming on straight away. Matt Ritchie going off, injured. Not sure, groin perhaps?
Don't know.
He's with Derek Wright, the physio, and he's gone down the tunnel. That all happened very quickly, I think. So we're going to see Rolando Aarons in the left wing-back role, but Matt Ritchie's evening ends prematurely after 10 minutes and Newcastle 1-0 down. John Joe Shelvey gives the ball back to the Hibs keeper.
Didn't see anything, I have to say. You just hope that it's nothing too serious. I mean, it may well have fit.
Now Hibs with nice football on the attack again, looking for a player in the area. That's handball from Fraser Murray. Quite blatantly handball. Aarons is bringing it away. I don't think he's heard the referee's whistle. He now has to stop and go back because it is a free kick.
Yeah, he got a little bit lucky, Aarons, as well, because it's not a natural position for him, and he's just waited for that ball coming into the penalty area. Boys gambled on it. Yeah, it was handball. You can't wait for balls coming in there. But yeah, getting back to Matt Ritchie, you just hope that it's nothing too serious, that he's just felt something, and it's precaution more than anything else. We spoke about injuries earlier on. He's one of the players that you wouldn't want to have a long-term one.
It's the voice of the former Newcastle United and Ireland defender John Anderson, who's with us for every match here on BBC Newcastle. Long diagonal ball from right to left for Newcastle. Longstaff keeps the move going. Aarons with step overs, and now across from the left. Corner kick blocked by Tom James, the Hibs right back. He played up front on Saturday, Aarons. He's now at left wing back. He's getting some instructions from the bench. Shelvey to take the corner, right-footed from the left. And he's got 5 in the box to aim at, 2 on the edge of the area. Joelinton on the target. Lascelles gets his head to it in front of the Brazilian, and behind it goes.
Yeah, stand and start, always going to be difficult. Didn't get a run at it. Under pressure, 2 green shorts around him. Couldn't direct the header.
Hibs play it short from the back to the left. Return to the keeper, and Slivka, midfielder wearing number 8, out to the right, and then back over via the keeper to the left. Still in their own half, and in fact in their own defensive third. Diagonal ball bounces up onto the chest of Aarons on halfway. He turns, having been confronted by 2 players in green and white. Dump to Shelvey, along the floor to Almiron, who controls and then gets turned. Got options right and left. Manquillo in acres of space on the far side, but he goes to Dummett on this near side. Now Aarons to Almiron on the left. Dummett into Shelvey, and back from the middle of the Hibs half to Carl Darlow, who leaves his area, passes it forwards first time. It's a yellow ball this evening. Scher puts his foot on it and then rolls it across to Dummett, 5 yards back from halfway. Newcastle 1-0 down. Aarons wins a throw, tried to go down the line for Longstaff, who made a diagonal run from the middle. Ball went out off a Hibs player. Lascelles gets it, steps over halfway, square to Scher. Now Manquillo. Ball finds Isaac Hayden, nice touch, he plays it across. Aarons coming in at the back stick, thumped out of play. Newcastle throw a level with the edge of the area on the far side.
Getting a little bit of joy in Hibs left back area, getting in behind the left back.
Now into the area.
What a chance that is.
Hands on head from Miguel Almiron, close range, ball goes wide.
Got to score. Sorry, but you've just got to score. You just put your head on it. Skimmed off the side of his head, but he's 6 yards out, not even 6 yards out, middle of the goal. Great ball, all on his own. Got to score.
Downfield it goes, right-footed from Hibs. Here's Scher. Ball up to Almiron, nice take, and then a turn, a drop with the shoulder, and he's seen the run of Manquillo and finds him. Good ball. Joelinton in the middle, he finds him. Joelinton scores. Newcastle are level, and the new boy, the new number 9, the record signing, has finished his first presentable opportunity, left-footed from 6 yards. Almiron's cross having been played in by Almiron. Joelinton there to find the back of the net. A good goal, quarter of an hour gone. Hibernian 1, Newcastle United 1.
Manquillo got down that right side, great ball. It's a fabulous ball played in for him. Coming on to it, just side-footed past the keeper, just the start they would have wanted. Good finish, do his confidence the world of good.
That's twice Manquillo's got forward well.
And his quality's been good.
And Joelinton in that position on the move. You could smell it, couldn't he, that the chance was there, made the run. They could have another chance, Newcastle. Almiron with a ball into the path of Hayden, but too close to Mackie, the Hibs left back. Gives it to the keeper. Clearance is going to come to Shelvey. Flicks it back to Cher at middle of the Hibs half, and now they clear it and break. And they're on the attack. Lascelles, though, over to tackle Florian Camberi and knock it down the line for Hayden, who tries to roll his man, but the ball gets away from him. And Hibernian are in possession once again, but it's 1-1. But saw where it was going and picked up the right position, didn't he, Joelinton?
Well, we said they were getting a lot of joy down that right side, the Hibs left in the Hibs left back position, and that's where the goals come from. Plenty of room in behind the left back, who likes to get forward and leaves gaps.
Ball swung in from the right by the hosts. Is that an offside flag?
No, push.
Oh, push. It's headed out of the area by Newcastle, but a free kick given. So 1 apiece. BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East, a station that brings you every United and Sunderland match live. Newcastle went behind, but Joelinton equalised a few moments ago. Matt Ritchie, in case you've just joined us, went off with an injury in what's been an eventful 17 minutes, and now the offside flag catches Joelinton. I mean, he's quick, but he just went too early there. They looked for him over the top from Cher's ball.
Yeah, he's lively.
Longstaff charges down a Hibs ball down the right. It's a throw in, about 15 yards back from halfway. Goes to McGregor, centre half, and over to the left hand side, played down the line. 3 players in black and white around it. Isaac Hayden's pinched it back for Newcastle, and there is Manquillo, good strength. Almiron scoops it up, gets away from Joelinton, and it's in the middle third of the pitch in the possession of Hibs, but then fired straight out of play by the goal scorer Stevie Mallon. And it's Newcastle's throw now, 10 yards past halfway on the left, in front of Steve Bruce and one of his coaches, Steve Agnew, both hands in pockets in black tracksuits. Paul Heckingbottom, the Hibs head coach, he also has that title, arms folded. And the other technical area, Dummett to Longstaff, ball's given away by Newcastle. Here are Hibs, Camberi blocked at the edge of the area by Lascelles. Another opportunity for the home team to shoot a goal, and the shot has taken a deflection. It was Joe Newell, left-footed from 20 to 25 yards, and it looped up off a black and white shirt and went behind. Corner kick on the left.
Well, it's poor from our point of view. Dummett, always dangerous, rolling a little ball square. Got cut out, and all of a sudden you're in trouble.
Here it comes, right-footed in, swinger into the 6-yard box. Carl Darlow takes it with 2 hands, throws it to Almiron, let it run, and there was a player coming in who took it away and got tripped by Almiron in doing so. Hibernian free kick wide right, about 35 yards out.
Yeah, you can have no complaints. Just a little bit late. Boy went looking for it, to be fair, but there was contact.
They've played it short down the line, now back into central midfield, lifted into the box. Joelinton heads out, and it's headed on by Manquillo, who was in the position to get it away from danger, and now a throw in for the Magpies on the far right-hand side. The lower section of the away end to our right is pretty much full.
You would say there's 3,000, wouldn't you?
Yeah, only a smattering of empty green seats. A few more unoccupied seats in the upper section, but a really good away following. And actually, the home fans have...
yeah, it's a decent crowd.
Yeah, got behind this one and come to support their team as well. We are almost at the midway point in the first half on BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. 1-1. Hibs scored first, United equalised through Joelinton. And here is Vikintas Slivka, midfielder, over the top, flicked on, straight through to Darlow, rolls it out to Fabian Schär, into John Joe Shelvey, with his right foot, takes the ball across his body, then turns, got players around him. Short to Longstaff, back to goal in the centre circle. Plays the way he's facing, gives it to Lascelles, Schär, Manquillo, right side, cuts in. Back to Lascelles, Newcastle going to try their hand down the left now. Dummett plays it forwards, it's cut out by Murray. Breaks into the area, Dummett gets back to him. Clean challenge, won it fairly. Passes it short to Shelvey.
Got lucky again, Paul Dummett.
Square to Aarons, Longstaff over to Schär, and now Newcastle over halfway. Ball at the feet of Manquillo. Hayden makes a forward run, gets it. Back to goal, holds it up, out wide it goes again to Manquillo, into Longstaff. Lascelles now on halfway. Keeping possession, United. Steve Bruce urging them to go forwards. Aarons does, into Almiron, who's sent tumbling. Newcastle have possession. Referee John Beaton says play on. Hayden to Schär, thinking about a shot. Fabian Schär, he's gone for it. It's over the bar, but it was a powerful enough strike and didn't clear the frame of the goal by much.
No, picked it up, only had one thought in his mind, get a shot away. Wasn't the worst. Was dipping. Didn't dip enough though. Keeper just watches it sail over his crossbar.
So after half of the first half, John Anderson, how would you sum up what we've seen so far?
It's been entertaining. It's been decent enough. It's been very open.
Joelinton's just won the ball back on the left-hand side from a short goal kick, gives it to Aarons. Longstaff across, and it's saved on the line to prevent an own goal. Almiron was ready just to strike the ball home and finish and make it 2-1, but a Hibs defender got back, but it looked like he was guiding it into his own net, but Marciano, the keeper, has reacted brilliantly to stop it on the line and keep it at 1-1.
It all came about, short goal kick, and from that moment on,
it could be in again. It's Almiron, released by Shelvey, no flag. Almiron saved by the keeper Marciano, who stood big. He went low left-footed, but Almiron was denied. Another chance for Newcastle United, and they might get a further opportunity here. Longstaff back to Shelvey, goes for it from distance. That's well into the stand behind the goal away to our left.
You just wonder how many chances this kid wants. He had a penalty at the weekend, had a header from 6 yards, from 5 yards that he got nothing on, and he's through one-on-one and hits the keeper with it. Got to be scoring. Got to be scoring.
And a couple of nice moves, chances created by Newcastle United, but not converted. One apiece, 24 minutes played. But you were saying about the game. You were saying so about the game so far, Ando, in terms of
it's been
how
enjoyable
it's gone from a Newcastle perspective.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable. It's pretty open, pretty stretched. Neither side really squeezing, giving each other time on the ball. Not really getting close to each other.
Hibs down the left, Schär back to Darlow. Schär's available against square, and that's where Darlow plays it. Sold a dummy to Canberry, the centre forward. Now Shelvey, high ball. He's trying to drop it over the head of the centre half. Hanlon almost got it into the spot that he wanted it to go to, but they deal with it and play it from left to right. Now Hibs look to do the same. Dummett has missed the first header, and then with a stooping header gets it back to Carl Darlow. Nobody behind him, so no immediate danger, and it's keeper's ball.
Yeah, he hasn't looked really comfortable, has he, Paul Dummett? And a couple of worrying moments.
Well, it's only his second appearance of pre-season. He started at the weekend, had a bit of an issue in China fitness-wise, so perhaps a little bit behind some of his colleagues. Shelvey up to Joe Ellington, good first touch. Oh, and then a nice ball through for Longstaff. He slips it into the path of Hayden in the area. He goes for goal, it's deflected behind for a corner.
Yeah, Joe Linton's done well again. Great little turn, great little ball through the middle, just coming off and just turning defenders. It's been lively.
With Matt Ritchie off injured, John Joe Shelvey is going to take the corner from the right-hand side now, so an outswinger. Hibs have left one player out of the box. Newcastle have got Aarons and Longstaff on the edge of the area, and 5 in the 18-yard box. To Joe Ellington at the back of the box, headed towards goal. And it was cleared to the edge of the area, and Sean Longstaff hit it, and a deflection's taken the ball just over the crossbar for another corner.
Yeah, good strike. Good header by Joe Linton. He's got up well. The initial header, and it's cleared to the edge of the box. Coming onto it, Longstaff keeps it down. Takes a huge deflection. Keeper was beaten.
They seem to be aiming for him, don't they, from those corner kicks. Almiron again in the 6-yard box. Shelvey with the corner. Joe Ellington again the target. It's over his head. Aarons is first to the ball. Back to Dummett. Cher wants it. Dummett switches it to Shelvey. Wide right, takes a touch. Low ball in. Cher with a flick. Lascelles, oh, just wide of the post. I'm not sure the skipper was expecting it. And from 6 yards, it's perhaps rather hit him and gone just past the post. Again, it was close. But Cher went for the flick, didn't really connect, and Lascelles with the touch, but it took it wide of goal. 1-1.
Yeah, just couldn't shift his feet, could he? Got his feet tied up a little bit. Good play again, though.
And Hibs have gone for the switch, which has gone diagonally backwards from the Newcastle half to the middle of their own half, and a United throw. You listen to BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. Remember, every night from 5, Monday to Friday, we'll bring you the latest news from Newcastle and Sunderland on our Total Sport programme, and take your calls from 5:30 until 7. Almiron and Manquillo lose the ball from the throw. Hibs clear it, but then give it back to Sean Longstaff in the middle of their half. He's got a push, free kick. Foul by Stevie Mallon, and Shelvey puts the ball down, and rather than go for goal like he did at the weekend, he's played it short to Cher. Almiron back to Shelvey, nearer halfway than the goal, now to Fabian Cher. Plenty of room, puts his foot on it though, and then sidesteps a Hibs player, dinks it into the box, but nobody there. It's at the feet of the keeper, and he walks it towards the edge of the area. They go through the middle. Lascelles backpedaling, heads it down. It's come to Murray in the Newcastle half on the right. Well done, Paul Dummett, to win it back. Longstaff to Hayden, who gets turned. Manquillo's made that run again and receives the ball from Isaac Hayden. 25 yards out. Almiron, right-hand side for Newcastle United. Longstaff and Joe Ellington in the middle. Back to Shelvey. Left-footed ball square to Hayden. And Manquillo again on the right, tries to float one into the middle. It's gone off a Hibs player and out for a throw.
He's been a willing runner down that right-hand side, Manquillo. I think that's the first cross that he hasn't been able to get in. He's hit the defender with it, but his quality's been decent.
John Joe Shelvey on the ball in the centre circle, 2 around him. Longstaff takes a touch, hooks it over his shoulder. Joe Ellington gets there before the defender with a good touch to poke it away and feed Rolando Aarons. Low ball in from Aarons, goes behind for a corner off Paul Hanlon, the Hibs centre half.
Yeah, he's lively again, the big centre forward. Just nipped it away from the centre back.
Shelvey in front of players from both teams warming up will take the corner kick. Longstaff's come short. It's this time straight at the keeper. Players went near post, ball went over their heads, and Afia Marciano, the Israeli, in goal for our hosts, rolls it out underarm. Sent forwards, Dummett puts it back into the Hibs half. Foul on Slivka by Almiron. Referee signals play on because Hibernian still have it. They get their Scottish Premiership campaign underway on Saturday with St Mirren at home. Then they go to Glasgow Rangers. Here they are trying to get into the Newcastle box through Newell. Goes down on the edge of the area. Half-hearted appeals, nothing given. Ball cleared up to halfway. Joelinton is down. Newcastle wanted a free kick, nothing given. He's sitting down in the centre circle, the number 9. And Newcastle have been given a free kick for a foul on Aarons just by the penalty box, but Joelinton is still down.
Yeah,
he's got one on the ankle.
Yeah, he's got one on the ankle, hasn't he? It's been decent though. He's been lively, his movement's been good, got himself a good goal.
He's on his feet now and walks to the side of the pitch. You don't even want to contemplate anything happening to him and any sort of issue with his fitness. 3 players, Aarons, Hayden and Longstaff, have come over for a drink and a chat with Steve Bruce. Matt Ritchie off already with a problem. 32 played on BBC Newcastle, 1-1. Joelinton is, I think, going to come back on in a moment. And the game will restart with a free kick given for the foul on Aarons on the left in the defensive third. Darlow to take. Plenty of height on it. It reaches the Hibs penalty area just about where it's nodded away. Lascelles heads forward for Newcastle. Ball's hit the referee, and well, has he stopped the game because the ball hit him?
It's going to bounce it, I think.
It fell kindly to Isaac Hayden, who went for goal, but I think after the whistle was blown. So John Beaton drops it at the feet of Vikinta Slivka, and back it goes to Marciano in goal, and Hibs play it forwards, but then off Isaac Hayden comes to Manquillo. First time ball down the line, back to the opposition, and long from the back. Lascelles battling for it. It's bounced off Camberian, come to Shelvey, through for Almiron, who's made a diagonal run, breaks into the area, good pace, rolled across. Joelinton just can't get there, had a man in front of him who cleared. Move is still active. Almiron to Aarons, left-hand side. Longstaff now getting further away from goal, but a good ball to Share. Gets it out of his feet. Is he going to shoot? Takes another touch into Joelinton, controls, turns, hits it left-footed, blocked. Longstaff controls, goal! Sean Longstaff with the control and the goal to put Newcastle United 2-1 up here at Easter Road. Joelinton had a crack, it was blocked, it came to Longstaff, and then right-footed from 18 yards, the ball arrowed into the bottom left corner, and after 34 minutes Newcastle United have come from behind to lead.
Yeah, good strike, good hit, capable of that, good first touch, got out of his feet nice and early, just drilled it. Not too sure the keeper could have done better with it. Seemed to be by him, but still a good hit.
Ten minutes to half time. I know it's a pre-season friendly, Ando, but I've enjoyed it. It's been good. Here they are again, Newcastle on the attack. Almiron to Joelinton, heavy first touch straight through to the keeper from the edge of the area.
Yeah, Hibs making a lot of their own problems. They're trying to play in bad areas. keep giving it away, inviting us onto them.
And they're bringing it forwards from the back. They finished 5th last season in the Scottish Premiership, above their rivals Hearts, but they were 13 points off 4th in a European spot. Here is Hayden, got caught late after leaving the ball. He's down. What a pass that is for the run of Javier Manquillo. Just keeps it in on the line. Longstaff with the ball. Manquillo taking on his man, heading backwards, finds Shelvey, wide right. Hayden's on his feet now. Newcastle 2-1 up, and they play it back to halfway, and Fabian Schär. Almiron has come into a deep position to get it, takes a touch, hammers the ball out to Paul Dummett on the left, down the line, first time to Aarons, helped on, first time likewise to Longstaff, to Joe Ellington, 5 yards outside the area, big and strong, shoves off a Hibs player, drops it off to Dummett. Aarons now trying to do something skillful on the left, turns back, Dummett with him for support, he's given it to Joe Ellington on the corner of the box to Almiron, 1-2 to Joe Ellington, players in the middle, Almiron blocked and behind for a corner, could have been handball. Lovely move crafted by Newcastle, and this is good stuff.
Yeah, it is good stuff, played well, good reaction from going behind. Some of the football's been really decent.
It's nice to see the forward players working together so well with the movement, clearly the communication that comes with that, but the attacking intent that they're displaying from many players just to get into the box. Shelvey with the looping corner. Lascelles goes for it, headed away, then hooked clear. And Manquillo gets after it on halfway, takes the safe option of going back to Darlow. Diagonal ball into the path of Dummett. Big first touch up to halfway into Joe Ellington. Gets away from his man, rolls it to Almiron. They're in the Hibs box already again, Newcastle. Almiron puts his foot on it, steps back, back heel. Aarons didn't make the run that he wanted him to into the space, and it's played off the Newcastle left wing back for a throw in.
He was expecting a lot of Aarons to get there.
Going to be taken by Tom James, the Welsh right back. Throws it, gets it back, knocks it up to halfway. Lascelles heading it on. Aarons inside. Hibs get it back. Newcastle get 3 players around the ball and win it. Dummett to the skipper outside of the right boot, just out of play, as Ki Sung-young joins Yoshinori Muto in warming up away to our left. Throw in front of the Newcastle bench, which is to the left of the halfway line, and it's thrown back into central defence, and Slivka in midfield on the ball for Hibs. Here's Shaw, one of the 2 centre forwards, laying it off. Back it goes to the edge of their area. Newcastle pressing. It's passed around the black and white shirts, and now from the middle of their half, Hibs choose to go backwards rather than forwards. Wide left now, 5 yards from halfway. Newcastle have 3 players in the Hibernian half: Almiron, Hayden and Joe Ellington. But they're content to let their opponents have it for now, with 6 minutes to half-time and 2-1 up. Maybe that's why they're happy to let them have it, as they give it away by dinking it forward straight through to Darlow.
Yeah, Mackie struggled at left back. He's been poor.
BBC Newcastle radio for the Northeast. Shelvey to Longstaff, under pressure, plays it into the feet of Almiron, who had space. Left-hand side, just back from halfway. Now Aarons tried to go through the defender, who blocked it. And possession is lost by Newcastle. And it's Hibs who have the ball in midfield. Flicked Forwards by Canberry, straight to Cher, and Shelvey turns. Joelinton ready to get on the move. Ball doesn't come to him. Longstaff has it taken off his toes, and now an attack from Hibs. Wide left, Newell, just outside the penalty area. Can't get past Fabian Cher, just stands big and strong. Wins the ball and knocks it down the right for Joelinton. Oh, what a flick to get away from his man. Great skills into the area. Left-footed. Joelinton onto his right, still going, and still he's on the floor. Referee gives nothing, and it's brought away. But fantastic little flick, little chop through his legs to create the space when it looked like he was running down a blind alley. Got into the area, just couldn't find the room for a shot on goal.
Oh, great ability. Brilliant. Great little turn. And then he's sat two of them on the backside as well. He's gone to hit it and he's just dragged it back. Brilliant.
Remains 2-1 to United. Joelinton and Sean Longstaff with the goals after Stevie Mallon put Hibs into the lead. Back of the centre circle for Hibs. Darren McGregor to the right-hand side. And via central midfield they go down the left now. High ball into the box. Darlow comes to the 6-yard line and catches it.
Yeah, Mackie again getting down that left side yet again. His final ball just straight into the arms of the goalkeeper.
Dummett to Lascelles in the United area, playing it out short. Cher back over to Lascelles in the D. Joelinton in between two central defenders. Almiron just in front of him. Manquillo pushed right on up that right flank, and Longstaff's gone on beyond from midfield as well as Newcastle play it to Shelvey on halfway. Almiron deep, Aarons in space, got loads of room around him. Longstaff gets the ball, lets it run across his body and rolls it into the path of Aarons. Cut back, it's Hayden in the area, heavy first touch, half cleared by Hibs as far as Shelvey. 25 yards out, you can hear the cries of shoot. He's crossed towards Joelinton. It's over his head, but off the head of Tom James and behind for a corner.
It's been good, it's been really enjoyable. Some of the football they've played has been really decent. Joelinton's been excellent. His hold-up play, his awareness, been first class.
Into the final 2 minutes of the first half on BBC Newcastle. Sean Longstaff with this corner. Shelvey to the right of the D. Let's see what comes of this. Can they get a third before the break? Longstaff, the keeper's punched it behind for another corner on the far side. Shelvey to take.
Strange goalkeeping. There's far too much on the corner. Was going to just sail out of play for a goal kick.
Longstaff is now at the left of the D. Aarons goes across to Shelvey, who puts it in to the middle. It's looped up off a Hibs player, headed away from the edge of the area. Manquillo had a square out to the wide right position where Shelvey is. Aarons is there too, trying to break, but has committed a foul, never really had control of the ball, and the free kick is given. And we're not too far off half-time. On the right-hand side now, Hibs back into McGregor in central defence. He's at the width of the 18-yard box to Hanlon. Edinburgh-born Hibs player. Then from left to right, but it's cut out by Newcastle. Aarons with the header, Longstaff on it. Ball is lost by Newcastle, and now Hibs in midfield. That's a nice little layoff. Here's Slivka running towards the edge of the area. Played with the outside of his right boot to Mallon, trying to engineer something here, but they lose it, and the referee, John Beaton, blows for half-time. Newcastle United lead Hibernian by 2-1. They were behind United through Stevie Mallon's left-footed shot from the edge of the area that fizzed past Carl Darlow and into the back of the net, but they responded with a goal from their record signing Joelinton, who's had a fantastic first half. It was Almiron who played the ball into the path of Manquillo, who's made a number of good runs up from the wing-back position on the right. He played it across, and from 6 yards, Joelinton left-footed across the keeper and into the back of the net. It created numerous other opportunities, United, but only one more goal to show for it. Sean Longstaff with a shot from the edge of the area that arrowed into the bottom corner. And John Anderson, it's been an enjoyable game, quite open, but plenty of attacking play from Newcastle, and the new number 9 has looked particularly good.
New boy Joelinton's been brilliant, been excellent. It's all-round play, got a goal. Some of the football's been excellent. Almiron could have had 2, should have had 2. 2 big chances, got to be putting them away. Longstaff, good strike. A lot of good stuff to take out of it, especially from going behind. Game's been very open though, a lot of room, nobody really getting close to each other. But it's been a good first half. It's been enjoyable to watch.
The only downside, I suppose, is the injury to Matt Ritchie, but we're not quite sure what that is.
No, not sure. Didn't see anything. But all in all, I'm sure Steve Bruce will be absolutely delighted with the way that it's gone.
We'll bring the second half live here on BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East and NUFC TV. But at the break in Edinburgh, it's Hibernian 1, Newcastle United 2.
The winners of Love Island, Greg and
Alfie and Anna at breakfast.
Jane Middlemas is in for Anna Foster.
I'm going to keep this short but sweet, just like when we first came to meet. We have laughs, we have jokes, and you must think, who the hell is this Paddy? But that's okay, because deep down I know you're a Newcastle Raji.
See, if I'd written one for you, it would have been more, there was a young lass called Jane, who occasionally was a bit of a pain.
That would just make us cringe.
See you tomorrow, when you wake up.
BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East. Made in the North East.
Good evening, this is Colin White here, back in the BBC Newcastle studios, taking you through half-time. Newcastle United 2-1 up on Hibs in their friendly at Easter Road tonight. We'll be back with Matthew and John for full second half commentary in just over 10 minutes time. Obviously not an awful lot of other football matches going on tonight. Berwick Rangers start their league campaign in the Lowland League tonight. They had gone 14 competitive games without scoring a single goal, Berwick Rangers. The 12th of March was the last time they scored. And then Grant Rose hit the back of the net after 9 minutes tonight away at Bonnyrigg Rose. The downside is that they then conceded 4 goals in 7 minutes, and they are currently 4-1 down away to the side managed by former Berwick Rangers manager Robbie Horn as well. So it started well, it is not going well currently for Berwick Rangers. 4-1 down away at Bonnyrigg Rose. At half time in the second qualifying round of the Champions League, Celtic coasted through. They were already 5-0 up on Estonian side Nomi Kaliu from the first leg. They won tonight's second leg in Estonia 2-0, so 7-0 on aggregate. They'll take on Romanian side Cefri Cluj in the third qualifying round. A couple of local friendlies worth keeping abreast of tonight as well. South Shields are 3-1 up at Hebburn at half-time. Heburn's goal actually scored by former South Shields striker Graham Armstrong, but Jason Gilchrist has scored a couple for South Shields. Milanic Ali with the other one, and it's one apiece between Dunstan and Morpeth. Dan Halliday scored Dunstan's goal. Andrew Grant Soulsby with an own goal gave Morpeth an equaliser, one apiece there at half-time. So, Newcastle United still have one more friendly to come after tonight. They face French side Saint-Etienne at St James's Park at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, but at exactly the same time Sunderland will be getting their league season underway. The Black Cats welcome Oxford United to the Stadium of Light to begin their League One campaign, having signed 5 players in total over the summer, perhaps more to come as well before the transfer window closes. Mark McNulty was on loan at Hibs from Championship side Reading last season, but he'll be hoping to score goals for Sunderland this season. He's been chatting to BBC Newcastle's Nick Barnes about making his debut against Dutch side Heerenveen at the weekend.
Yeah, it was good, obviously, personally. Get a first run out, get a run out of the stadium. First time I'd played there, so it was great. Yeah, disappointing the result, obviously, but I think there's positives to take from the game into next week.
In terms of the result, it was some strike though from them.
Yeah, it was. And we spoke after the game. We don't want it to. We don't want to be that team who's nearly there, and sometimes a wonder goal catches you off guard. Look, it might happen sometimes, but I think we've got to be a bit more ruthless in front of goals. So if something like that does happen, that we're not sort of chasing our tails.
Difficult though sometimes when you're you're sort of flown straight in, you're thrust straight in. People have got expectations on your shoulders. I mean, and a club this size as well.
Yeah, that's part and parcel of playing for this club. That's a good thing in my eyes. A club that has to win every week. As a football player, you want to win every week as well. So everyone's here, everyone knows the expectations of the fans and the manager, and it's to win as many games as possible, so it's a good thing.
There's Will here, there's Charlie here, even Benji and you now, competition for places. I mean, I suppose that's one thing you'll always say, that's good, that's to be encouraged.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I think if there was only one striker or two striker, you sometimes find yourself in a comfort zone. You just named 3 quality strikers there, so for me, it's you need to work hard. You need to prove to the gaff that you're sort of worthy of that jersey.
You didn't get long tonight, but I mean, the manager said what he did see of you, he liked. You had not had much pre-season, but you and George Dobson, when he came on as well, you looked lively. You looked as though you did seem as though you wanted to get involved straight away. Yeah,
that's probably the type of player I am. I think the fans will see that over the course of the season. I like to try and get involved in the game, even though I'm not maybe having a great game. I'll still put myself about and work hard and work for the team. I think that's just pretty standard. But no, look, I hope, like the gaffer says, I ran about tonight and showed that I want to be in the team, and we've got a good week coming up before the start of the season. Hopefully I can do enough.
I mean, Heronveen's one thing, they will allow you to play though. The cut and thrust of League One's going to be a little bit different, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It was a completely different test. No disrespect to any of the League One teams, but most of them won't sort of play out for the back like that. They won't sort of roll it to their centre halves 10 yards away for the goalie. So it was a completely different test. But we know what's coming next week. We've got a full week now to work hard and for the big one next week. Hopefully the fans turn up, which I'm sure they always do, and it's exciting for the whole team, but me especially, to see what it's actually like.
Sunderland's new striker Mark McNulty there speaking to Nick Barnes. On the transfer front, there have been a few announced today. Gateshead have signed the 19-year-old Greek centre-half Alexandros Sakelaropoulos. You'd never have known he was Greek. Although he's not had to travel very far. He was most recently at Carlisle United. Elsewhere, Everton midfielder Idrissa Gueye has joined Paris Saint-Germain. The French champions are paying in the region of £30 million for the 29-year-old Senegal international. The Toffees are also closing in on a deal to sign Juventus forward Moise Kean. He's been linked with a move to Goodison Park for up to £36 million. Everton manager Marco Silva reportedly wanting 5 new players before the transfer window slams shut, as it has to, next Thursday. Brighton are close to completing a club record £20 million deal with Bristol City for central defender Adam Webster. Bristol City also reportedly interested in Newcastle United's Kieran Clark if Webster does indeed leave. Talking of defenders, Arsenal are in talks with a number of clubs over the possible departure of Shkodran Mustafi. They're also hopeful of confirming a £72 million signing of Nicolas Pepe from Lille in France later this week. And former Liverpool defender Stephen Warnock says Real Madrid have shown a lack of class over the Gareth Bale transfer saga. The Wales forward out of favour at Real, but club president Florentino Perez prevented him from joining Chinese club Jiangsu Suning in a deal that, as I'm sure you've heard over the past few days, reportedly worth £1 million a week. We're going to switch our attention to cricket for a few minutes. And there's the small matter of an Ashes series to discuss in just a moment, but Durham continue their T20 Blast campaign tomorrow when they host Leicestershire at Chesterley Street. After Cameron Bancroft was called up to the Australia squad for those aforementioned Ashes, wicketkeeper Stuart Pointer was named Durham's interim T20 captain, and he was asked by BBC Newcastle's Martin Emerson how he would describe the start to the campaign.
Up and down is perfect, yeah. Obviously started off pretty well, had a bit of a tough time at Lancashire, learnt our lessons and did brilliantly at Leicester, and then 2 lads had a day at Worcester, so hopefully on Wednesday, if weather permitting, we'll get back on winning ways.
Interesting that you inflicted so much damage to Leicestershire on Friday, and then we're on the receiving end of equally as bad, if not worse, treatment from Worcestershire. It must be tough for young lads to cope with, to go around the park the way they did. I mean, there's no hiding place in an event like that, is there?
I think it's just T20 cricket, really. Those are 2 brilliant players, and they've been doing it for years, and it's good for our young lads. They can go back and work on their skills and go and learn plan B, C, Z. You know, it's been going pretty well with the ball, so I think sometimes these sort of things can be a blessing in disguise.
Have you sat down with the analysts yet and gone back through Sunday?
And we've kind of left it in the past, and we're going to move forward now. We'll probably have to analyse it before we play Worcester again, but yeah, just looking forward to playing on Wednesday.
Now, talk us through your position as captain. I'm not aware that you have much in the way of captaincy experience, so were you a little bit surprised when they came to you? And what were your thoughts when they said, would you like to do it?
Yeah, it was a nice surprise, and originally it was just going to be 3 games, but I've enjoyed it so far. Haven't done much at all, but probably in the best position, really, right next to the batsman, and can talk to the bowlers easy enough. But I've enjoyed it so far, so hopefully keep enjoying it.
Stuart Pointer there speaking to BBC Newcastle's Martin Emerson, and Martin will have live ball-by-ball commentary of tomorrow's game at the Riverside. That's available, as always, on the BBC Cricket website and the BBC Sport app. They get underway at 6:30 tomorrow evening, and then the Ashes begin on Thursday. England batsman Joe Denley has confirmed today that captain Joe Root will move up the order to number 3 for the opening Ashes test against Australia at Edgbaston. That means Denley drops down to number 4. Another man hoping to star with the bat is Durham's Ben Stokes, and he's told the BBC he's matured as a person since being stripped of the vice-captaincy. Stokes was replaced in the role after he was involved in an incident outside a Bristol nightclub in September 2017. He was later cleared of a fray, and he's now been reappointed as vice-captain for this Ashes series. So, in his own words, how exactly will he help Captain Joe Root?
Scratching my chin, pretending like I'm offering Joe advice most of the time. I seriously, I think just trying to take his, all the little bits of pressure off Joe, because he's a man who comes under the criticism as captain. So I'm just going to try and help him out as much as I can on the field, off the field, with whatever he needs.
Meanwhile, Australia head coach Justin Langer has confirmed that Durham opener Cameron Bancroft, who we mentioned earlier, could play for the Tourists in what would be his return to the Test squad following the end of a ban for ball tampering in 2018. Fellow batsmen Steve Smith and David Warner were also banned for their involvement. They could also be called up as well. In rugby union, England flanker Brad Shields faces a race against time to be fit for the World Cup in Japan. That gets underway on the 20th of September, and that's after he's been ruled out for up to 6 weeks with a foot injury. And in horse racing, Stradivarius has won the Goodwood Cup under Frankie Dettori to claim a 3rd successive victory in the race. The John Gosden trained filly becomes only the 2nd horse after a double trigger to win the 2-mile prize on 3 separate occasions. Right then, let's head back to Easter Road. Newcastle United's penultimate pre-season friendly going well so far. They're 2-1 up at the break thanks to goals from Joelinton and Sean Longstaff, and another dynamic duo. Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson are back for second half commentary in just a moment.
Newcastle and Sunderland commentary exclusively live.
BBC Newcastle, the only place for North East sport.
They've got 3 in the box. High ball left-footed, nodded down at the edge of the area. Here's a chance and a goal for Hibernian from Stevie Mallon. Left-footed from the edge of the area. Fired it past Carl Darlow. Diving to his right. Mid-height, but he couldn't get anything on it, couldn't prevent it. Ball up to Almiron, nice take, and then a turn and a drop with the shoulder, and he's seen the run of Manquillo and finds him. Good ball. Joelinton in the middle, he finds him. Joelinton scores. Newcastle are level, and the new boy, the new number 9, the record signing, has finished his first presentable opportunity, left-footed from 6 yards. Almiron to Aaron's left-hand side. Longstaff now getting further away from goal, but a good ball to Share. Gets it out of his feet. Is he going to shoot? Takes another touch into Joelinton. Controls, turns, hits it left-footed, blocked. Longstaff controls, goal! Sean Longstaff with the control and the goal to put Newcastle United 2-1 up here at Easter Road.
North East Sport.
Matthew Raisbeck and black and white legend John Anderson.
BBC Newcastle, the only place for North East sport.
And here at Easter Road, where Newcastle lead by 2-1, the second half is about to begin. It doesn't look like there have been any changes made by either team. The referee, John Beaton, looks at his watch, blows his whistle. Newcastle kick us off again, going from left to right as we look, so attacking the goal behind which a good couple of thousand fans are sitting. Black and white stripes, black shorts and black socks for Newcastle. Hibs in green shirts with white sleeves, white shorts and green socks. The keepers Darlow in pink and Marciano in yellow. Give you the teams in full in just a second. The scoreboard to our right, correctly says Hibernian 1, Newcastle 2, but incorrectly says 90 minutes. We've only had 45. Here's John Joe Shelvey for Newcastle. Great diagonal ball, perfect to Aaron's left-hand side, corner of the box, 2 in the middle. Joelinton almost got his head to it. It's come out to Almiron, caught it nicely enough. It's blocked on the way through, headed down. Longstaff tries to lift it over the top of a defender, manages to direct it with his head towards Aaron's, but a foul has been committed. Hibs free kick on the right-hand side.
Bright start to the second half. Lively. Good intent in everything that they do.
Starlow in goal, 3 central defenders, Cher, Lascelles and Dummett. Manquillo right wing back, Aaron's left wing back. Matt Ritchie started but went off after about 10 minutes, I think, injured. In central midfield, 3 players. Hayden, Shelvey and Sean Longstaff, and Almiron supporting Joelinton up front. No Dubravka in the squad tonight, no Colback. Gale is injured, as are Atsu and Yadlin. The bench for Newcastle: Woodman, Clark, Key, Murphy, Muto, Fernandez, Sterry and Matty Longstaff. Hibs have the ball on the right now into central midfield, played across to the left. And here's Ollie Shaw, one of the 2 centre forwards. Worked out to the right wing, put into the middle, headed down by Cher, just in front of Hibs players who are arriving into the box. Now the cross is put in from the left back, Mackie, controlled outside the area, but won back by Newcastle through Almiron, who's getting the Magpies up the pitch. So ball forwards that's asked a lot of Joelinton, and it's given back to the keeper Marciano. And in fact, I think they might have made a change in goal, Hibs, at half-time. Indeed they have. They brought on Chris Maxwell, who's on loan from Preston. We haven't been given any details of substitutions by the home team, so as always in pre-season, Ando, it's a bit of a guessing game. We're going to have to work it out ourselves, where Hibs are concerned. But Newcastle as they were, and leading 2-1. Now Hibs away, left-hand side. They've broken on Newcastle. Ball dinked into the middle. Dummett with a header up. Shelvey's got time to control on the edge of the area. Find Manquillo. Plays it forwards to Hayden, middle of the United half, up to Joelinton. Laid off to Shelvey. And now over the top for Hayden to chase. Keeper Maxwell comes, leaves his area, knocks it out of play.
Good play again. Good one-touch stuff. Third man running.
And something we talked about earlier was Hayden getting forwards more, and he's able to do that in this 3-man midfield. Joelinton with some control, passes the ball back. Newcastle knock it forwards. Down the right, Hibs have got it again. Dummett gets across, left-hand side, won the ball, knocked it through the legs of his man, and played it back to the keeper. That was nice. Darlow, left-footed, into midfield. Shelvey heads on. Won't fall for Hayden. It's come to a green shirt. And on the left-hand side, one of the substitutes, Josh Vella, midfielder, plays it over to the right. Back into their own half. Hibs diagonal ball forwards. Mackie, the left back, the former Berwick player. Nicely worked move. He's got it again. Gets away from Cher, but not from Manquillo. And now Longstaff turns. He's got a man at his back when he gets it again. Moves it quickly first time to Hayden. One-touch stuff between him and Shelvey. Back to Hayden, under pressure. And he could do with releasing it. Eventually gives it to Shelvey. Calmly plays it square to Longstaff in the middle of Newcastle's half. Over to the left now, Dummett, just back from the halfway line. Joelinton comes to get a touch, gives it back to Longstaff, switches the play. Manquillo, Hayden on the halfway line. Cher closed down, but first touch takes him forwards over halfway. 2-1 Newcastle here on BBC Newcastle, 5th minute of the second half. Aarons, Dummett gives it, goes beyond, gets it from Aarons, who does likewise, but the ball goes back to Shelvey on halfway. Dinked it up there with the outside of his right boot. United eventually lose it in the middle third of the pitch, and it's Hibs' ball, which is played out to the right back position, and Newcastle players reset 5-3-2 as the ball goes out to the left from Hibs on halfway. And they have started the second half quite brightly, the home team, and a bit better than perhaps they were at the end of the first half.
Yeah, they've been okay. It's pretty even the start of the second half. 5 minutes, 6 minutes gone in this second half. Not a great deal to report. It's been pretty even.
They made 7 changes at half-time, Hibs. Now Newcastle give the ball away to one of those substitutes, Scott Allen, midfielder, and he's won it back for a second time there. He's got 2 options ahead of him. One of them, Ollie Shaw, offside flag is up against the striker.
I don't think he was.
And neither do a lot of the home fans.
No, I don't think he was.
It remains 2-1 to Newcastle. Free kick taken. Shelvey to Almiron. He's had a couple of opportunities to score. Been unable to take them, the Paraguayan. No effort on goal in this second half, though it is in its early stages. Hayden now, Newcastle looking to create something here. It is Almiron. Manquillo out wide right. It goes back to Shelvey in the centre circle. Longstaff left-footed to Dummett. Up to Joelinton. Holds it up, man at his back.
Well played.
Back to Dummett, to Longstaff. Players around him, has to go to ground to slide the ball back to Lascelles. Driven pass from the skipper, bounces a couple of times, finds Manquillo down the line for Hayden. Another forward run into the corner on the right. Hayden gets a throw in, not far from the corner flag for Newcastle, who lead 2-1 here on BBC Newcastle and NUFC TV. Share. Pushed up over halfway. Aarons is making a run in off the left wing. Ball didn't come to him. It's back to Shelvey. Now Share. He's seen the space. He moves into it. Through for Hayden. Good pass. Options in the middle. Corner kick. Hayden's cross put behind.
Just open them up again.
And Sean Longstaff comes over, Ando, to take this corner.
Just wonder how long he'd give Longstaff.
It's his first start of pre-season.
Yeah, he's done well again tonight.
Shelvey's in the box, he makes a run, gets it, a little flick towards goal. Pushed behind by Hibs, scrambled behind really for another corner kick. Longstaff again to take it. Shelvey on the edge of the area. Hibs have left one up, everybody else back. 2-1 to Newcastle. Longstaff deep. It's over the head of Lascelles. Shelvey retrieves it. Dummett available back down the line. That's where it goes. Just in the opposition half of the field. Dummett through a gap to Aarons over halfway. Return ball is straight to Daryl Horgan of Hibs, playing on the right hand side after coming on at half time. And they have a throw in. Given back to Jackson, Adam Jackson, another one of those substitutes in defence. McGregor, the centre-half who started the game. And down the right, it's a ball looped into the area, nobody there in green. Carl Darlow catches it. Newcastle have sent Federico Fernandez, Jamie Sterry, Matty Longstaff, Yoshinori Muto and Ki Sung Young to warm up. And Aarons in possession for United. Back to Dummett, back to the keeper. Cher. That's a nice ball. Almiron in a bit of space to Shelvey, looking to thread one through, just cut out, didn't quite reach Longstaff. Could see the idea from John Joe Shelvey, but Hibs have it back, and here is Horgan, just past halfway. And the ball now, Mackie, the left back. Allen, and it's rolled forwards by Murray. Left-footed ball in from the right, and it's gone behind. Newcastle are saying it hit the hand of the Hibs player just in front of Carl Darlow. Christian Deutsch, the striker. Goal kick is given. Might even be a free kick. Yeah, but a dangerous-looking ball in, whipped in, left-footed, in-swinger.
Yeah, had too much height on it. It's gone for it. It's just punched it.
So Hibs in this second half with Chris Maxwell in goal, Stephen Whittaker at right back, the former Norwich player who's featured against Newcastle in the Premier League. Ball over the top here, no flag. Isaac Hayden just can't reach it, goes through to Maxwell. At centre half they have Adam Jackson, who is born in Darlington, came through Middlesbrough's academy but didn't play a senior game for them, and Darren McGregor with Sean Mackie at left back. Across midfield, Daryl Horgan, the Irish international, and I'm sure you've seen him a couple of times for his country. The shake of the head there perhaps said it all. Josh Vella, who joined from Bolton in the summer. Fraser Murray, who started the game, stays on. Scott Allen came on at half-time, and then up front Oliver Shaw, another one who started, the Hibs Academy graduate, and Christian Deutsch, who joined from Forest Green in the summer. And Newcastle unchanged. Darlow, Cher, Lascelles, Dummett, Manquillo and Aarons, who came on for the injured Ritchie in the first half, the wing-backs. Hayden Shelvey, Sean Longstaff, Almiron, Joe Ellington. Hibs have the ball, trying to get away down that far side. Aarons has done well, good strength, brought it clear, beaten a couple of players, good skill by Rolando Aarons, still going, turns back and finds Paul Dummett. Fantastic work there, and applauded by the Newcastle fans for what he did. Shelvey to Cher, first time, Almiron through, Joe Ellington's away in the area, a chance for his second, he's rolled it towards Isaac Hayden, but the keeper has stopped it. It was in truth probably neither a shot, neither a through ball, not particularly decisive, but a lovely move to set him away.
Yeah, thought he was just going to dink it over the keeper. He's tried to play it in to Hayden, but didn't get enough on the ball. The keeper gladly falls on it.
Dinked into the box by Hibs, left-footed from this near side, just over the head of Deutsch, and Darlow has the ball in two hands. Another one of those good moves involving two or three players. Newcastle open their opponents up. Almiron, let it run through his legs. He got a little bit lucky with the rebound there, but it's come back to him and he's moving forwards at speed. Joe Ellington's through again, right hand side in the area. Not a good angle for a shot, he's pulled it back, nobody there in black and white. Was probably just sent a little bit too far wide of goal, certainly for a shooting opportunity, but then the cut back straight to a green shirt.
Yeah, he didn't get his head up, just pulled it back into an area. Might be starting to tire a little bit. Might be time to get him off. Wrap him up in a little bit of cotton, well, in a lot of cotton wool.
Ball is in the middle third of the pitch at the feet of Hibs. Across to the right-hand side. In Newcastle's half, Horgan. Back to goal. Now Vela, the midfielder, wears number 6. Mackie to Vela again. 2 black and white shirts around him, plays it through them. To Allen. It's onto the chest of Aarons. And then given back to Darlow. BBC Newcastle, radio for the North East. (2-1) to the Magpies. Goals in the first half. Hibs went into the lead through Stevie Mallon's left-footed shot, but Joelinton got the equaliser, and Sean Longstaff put Steve Bruce's side in front. And it's a throw-in for Hibs on the left, and Newcastle have just made a change. John Anderson, Sean Longstaff has been given an hour, and he's been replaced in midfield by Ki Sung-young, whose 4 appearances in pre-season have all been from the bench.
Yeah, he's done well again tonight, Longstaff. Obviously got his goal, good strike. You would think the centre forward would probably be the next one to make way. Starting to look a bit leggy, isn't he?
It's been a good showing from him so far. Dummett to Shelvey. Puts Lascelles under a bit of pressure with a return ball to the defence. The skipper gets it back to Darlow, and up it goes. Hayden loses out in a block challenge. And they play it around Manquillo, but he recovers, keeps it in.
Did well.
On the goal line, knocks it out square for...
He's done well tonight, Manquillo.
A throw in. Hibs play it into midfield. Shelvey's pursuing Scott Allen. He releases the ball, finds a teammate, and wide right Horgan, 25 yards from goal. Lascelles volleys the ball away from inside the area. Almiron stretching, trying to get there, ends up on the floor, nothing given. A shot deflected off a black and white shirt and goes behind for a corner kick on this near left-hand side from the Hibs perspective. Still 2-1 to Newcastle here on BBC Newcastle. Everybody back to defend. Joelinton in the 6-yard box, Almiron in the D, and Keogh keeping close eye on player near the corner of the area. It's sent into the 6-yard box. It's actually come off a Hibernian player. Come back to the wide left position, rolled in. Joelinton blocks it. Now Key forwards to Almiron. Can they break quickly, Newcastle? Shelvey available to the left. Aaron's going on. Almiron over the top for Joelinton, who's made the run out to the right-hand side for Newcastle. Corner of the box. Drops his shoulder and then takes the ball past his man and plays it back down the line to Manquillo. Almiron bends it around a player in green to Dummett. On the left, Hayden tries to take it on the turns, come off him and gone for a throw.
Heavy touch, just got away from him.
Something new for this season from BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. If you go to BBC Sounds, you can download the app from whichever app store or provider you use. Our Newcastle United podcast, which we will be publishing daily, will be available. Hit the subscribe button to get the latest news and interviews from Newcastle United from BBC Newcastle. That's our Newcastle United podcast, available to subscribe to now on BBC Sounds. And for those who may be listening of a red and white persuasion, we are producing a Sunderland podcast as well this season with the latest news and interviews from the Stadium of Light. Here, Newcastle United leading Hibs 2-1 with 25 minutes to go. And having to defend is Mackie on the left, cuts in, and a ball fired out to the right wing to Horgan. High, deep cross. Manquillo heads behind.
Did well again.
And they're going to make another change. Hibs, Ryan Porteous is coming on. An enthusiastic reception. Takes his place into the box. And here's the corner, right-footed from the left. Darlow gets his left hand on it and pushes it out for a throw-in on the far side.
Wasn't the most convincing, was it?
It's going to be taken by Stephen Whittaker, the former Scotland international, on at right back. They've perhaps not done what they were intending with the throw, and Newcastle have managed to clear it through Dummett. Joelinton sticks out a big long right leg. 6'2" Brazilian, but can't pull it down. And over halfway come the hosts. Back into their own half of the field. And I guess typically in pre-season, and though the most intense part of the game is usually the first half, isn't it? Players finding fitness, certainly from Newcastle's perspective, but second half not being quite as lively, perhaps. Not as much pace about it. But they still had a couple of decent spells and created a couple of good opportunities, but been unable to add to their 2-1 lead.
Yeah, you would say that Hibs have had more of the ball second half. The changes that they've made, not too sure what many of them changes are automatic choices in the first 11. But they've had more of the ball without really ever testing us, to be fair. And when we broke, we've had a couple of half chances.
Looking to release Horgan down the right. Hibs, Dummett in the position to control the ball. Gives it to Shelvey. It's back to Cher.
A few changes going to be made now as
Keeper
well.
on, and gives it to Darlow. Yeah, Jacob Murphy and Yoshinori Muto stand by the side of the pitch. And Newcastle look like they're going to freshen things up. You'd expect Joelinton to go off, possibly Manquillo as well, to give Murphy a chance to play. He played at left wing back at Preston, didn't he, when he came on at half-time, Jacob Murphy, at the weekend?
Yeah, Manquillo's done well.
Joelinton, good header on to Hayden on that left side of midfield at the moment. Ball's been lost by Newcastle, and then won back by, guess who, Paul Dummett, as he does so often. Hayden moves it to Key, nice football. Manquillo, Joelinton in the middle, making a run towards the near post. Cross takes a touch. Joelinton might keep it in, just lets it run for a corner. Steve Bruce has a word with Yoshinori Muto and Jacob Murphy. Do they want to make the changes now, or are they going to let the corner be taken first? John Joe Shelvey gets a tremendous reception from Newcastle's fans, and he reciprocates with applause. Key's available if he wants to take a short corner. And the change is going to be made now. Almiron and Joelinton off. Muto and Murphy on, changing the front two.
Yeah, Joelinton's looked looked a little heavy-legged in this second half, but first half he was excellent, first class.
Shelvey with the corner, the out swinger, take it again. Whistle's gone, as you probably heard. Key gives it back to Shelvey. They have four players around the penalty spot. That's where the ball goes. Big header on it from a Hibs defender. I think it was Jackson, and it's another corner. Shelvey from the same side of the pitch to take it again. Here it comes. Lascelles just over his head. Aarons controls. Cher, the drag back and a step over, left wing. Big defender. Got some space now. Murphy and Muto just outside the box. Aarons available. He takes a touch with his left. Ball comes in. Header! 3-1. And it's the skipper, Jamal Lascelles, who stayed up from the corner, who nods in from 6 yards. Rolando Aarons with the delivery right onto the head of Jamal Lascelles. 19 minutes to go. Hibernian 1, Newcastle United 3.
Well, free header, non-existent marking. 6 yards out. Decent ball in by Aarons. Game, set, match.
John Joe Shelvey has a word with the referee as the United players get back into their own half. It's going to be another change. Kieran Clark is ready to come on, linked with a move away from St James's Park. He is going to replace Paul Dummett, who has got 72 minutes in addition to the 45 he got at the weekend. He takes his place on the bench with Clark going in as the left of the three central defenders. BBC Newcastle, radio for the Northeast. Remember, Total Sport tomorrow from 5. We'll start with the latest news from Newcastle and Sunderland and reaction from Easter Road, and then phone lines are open 5:30 onwards to have your say on both clubs. Murphy chasing a back pass which has been fired against one of his teammates by McGregor, the Hibs defender. That must have hurt. Newcastle have got it back now. Fabian Cher up to Murphy, back to Cher. Tackled and brought away from the edge of the area. Manquillo stretching. Oh, great brilliant. Sliding challenge.
Brilliant, well played.
To bring the ball away and find Ki Sung-young. He's probably had his best game in a black and white shirt tonight. I know it's a friendly.
He's been excellent.
But I don't think he's made a single mistake tonight, and he's done some very, very impressive things. And that's been quite encouraging with DeAndre Yedlin still unavailable through injury. And is a player who probably hasn't convinced supporters, and understandably so at times. It'd be nice if he got some credit for his display this evening. And created Joe Ellington's goal, but done well at both ends.
Back end of last season, he was excellent as well. His performances were good, they were steady away, nothing flash, but he did his job, and he's been good tonight.
It's the voice of BBC Newcastle's John Anderson, former Newcastle United defender, who is our match summariser. Hayden laid off to Cher. Precise pass over to Clark on the left, Aarons, and it is Aarons rather than Aarons. After about 4 years of calling him Aarons, the club told us that it's Aarons and asked us to pronounce it the way the player himself does. So just in case you're wondering why we're saying Aarons and not Aarons, that's why. That's how the player says his name. Here are Hibs going for goal from 25 yards, and it's not a bad effort from Ollie Shaw. The inside of his right boot, plenty of power behind it, tried to curl it into the far corner of Darlow's goal, and the keeper got something on it. It's a corner.
Corner kick, good hit. Yeah, it was a good hit.
Oh, quickly taken into the area. Great challenge, Jacob Murphy. He was alive to the danger and has brought the ball away, and now forwards to Muto. Newcastle on the attack. Muto turns. Can he slip it back through for Murphy? He's done well to hold on to it under severe pressure. They got up the pitch quickly there, Newcastle, but just couldn't get any further than 10 yards into the Hibs half.
No, tried to be clever, Hibs. Quick free kick, early free kick. Excuse me. Didn't work for them and nearly got caught on the break.
Clark to Lascelles in the middle of the back three. More changes coming, I think. Looks like Jamie Sterry is ready by the side of the pitch. Can't see the number. Yep, Matty Longstaff, Jamie Sterry, and I think Federico Fernandez as well. United still have the ball. Some olays from the away fans. Shelvey on it. Right hand side on halfway. Share back to Shelvey. He's had a good game tonight. Key. Left of the centre circle in the Magpies half. Hayden available. He's got two around him as the ball comes into feet. Goes back to the keeper. And Darlow puts his foot through it. That's a mismatch, isn't it? Muto with a big defender, but he managed to help the ball down to a Newcastle player, and they have it here through Hayden. What a pass that is. Manquillo, good first touch. Two options in the middle. Cross is headed behind for a corner. Murphy and Muto in the box for Manquillo to pick out, and Hibs defend it. And now here come Federico Fernandez, Jamie Sterry and Matty Longstaff. I mentioned earlier that there was no fourth official. There's no numbers board. So in, I guess, old-fashioned style for the top level, the assistant referee is having to come back down to halfway and, well, manage the substitutions. Who's coming off?
Manquillo,
Share and Shelvey. So Matty Longstaff into midfield, Fernandez into central defence, and Sterry to right wing back. 3-1 Newcastle, 13 minutes to play. Key with the corner. Referee has halted the game again. You're listening to BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. Key delivers. Muto was the target. It's gone behind off a Hibs player. Newcastle claiming it hit a hand. It's just a corner. Key with the outswinger again. Towards that near post area, up into the air by Hayden. Keeper comes and catches. Chris Maxwell on loan for the season. He was on the bench actually, Maxwell, at Wembley for Charlton in the League One playoff final in May, having been on loan there in the second half of last season, but moved north of the border earlier this month. Hibs with it, far right hand side, looking to attack the goal away to our left. Joe Ellington, Longstaff and Lascelles, the scorers for Newcastle, who went behind, but now have a two-goal cushion. Cross comes in over the head of Sterry, kept alive here by Scott Allen on the left, into an area where there are a few green shirts, but almost given away to Yoshinori Muto. They still have it, Hibs, facing the Newcastle goal. Pressure from Matty Longstaff. It's played to the left back Sean Mackey. Now an opportunity for Fraser Murray to shoot on goal. Ball bounces up and into the hands of Carl Darlow.
Nothing. Comfortable save.
Clark. Aarons down the line. Hayden, little flick round the corner, and he's after his own flick. Ball has just stayed in play. That was nice. A bit unfortunate that he wasn't able to make anything more of it. Hibs got a player back and returned it to the keeper. Doidge holding it up and releasing it to the right-hand side. Now there's a foul by Kieran Clark on Christian Doidge, the centre forward, and free kick right-hand side, middle of Newcastle's half. You may remember Doidge was on loan to Bolton, one of a few Football League clubs in a bit of trouble at the moment. Last season from Forest Green, but a permanent move was cancelled by Forest Green because Bolton were under a transfer embargo, so he went back to League Two and got his move this summer to the Scottish Premiership. He takes up a position on the edge of the area with the line of Newcastle defenders. Free kick comes in. Matty Longstaff heads it away. Yoshinori Muto tries to win it. He has won it. Longstaff with him, forwards to Jacob Murphy. Has he got the pace to get away? Players around him. Murphy holds on to it. Muto to the left, tackled, and then Longstaff won it and was pulled back. That was a bit naughty and right in front of the referee, who has blown his whistle and given Newcastle a free kick in the centre of the Hibernian half.
Yeah, Porteous just pulled young Longstaff back.
He's already got a chant from the Newcastle supporters. BBC Newcastle radio for the North East. 8 minutes to go, 3-1 to the Magpies. We'll be speaking to Steve Bruce after the game. Follow us on Twitter at BBC Newcastle to see what he has to say. Look for an update on transfers and ask again about Martin Dubravka, Newcastle's #1 goalkeeper, who is again absent this evening. Aarons cuts out a through ball. Muto on the move, up ahead, through the middle. Aarons beats his man and is then tackled by a second player. And now United getting players behind the ball. Jackson, who is with Paul Heckingbottom, the Hibs head coach at Barnsley, and played twice against Newcastle in the Championship, including the final day when they so memorably pipped Brighton to the title at St James's Park. Ball's in midfield at the feet of Hibernian's Scott Allen, former Celtic player. Back it goes into defence. They made a couple more changes. They brought on a young player, Jamie Gullen, to play up in attack, and also Josh Campbell has come on right-hand side. Newcastle have got a throw, won by Matty Longstaff, the 19-year-old. Despite impressing John Anderson in pre-season, may well find himself out on loan at some point when things settle down, because he hasn't had a loan spell away from St James's Park yet.
No, depends though. Might see him as part of the squad. It's one of those you got to watch.
I suppose we said the same about Sean Longstaff last year, even though he'd had a couple of previous loan spells.
Yeah, they're a bit different. I mean, Sean's been away a couple of times, but the manager seems to like this boy. You can see why.
Free kick given for a heavy challenge by Hibs on the far side in the Newcastle half. 6.5 minutes to go. 3-1 up, put out of play by Campbell. And Sterry has made 2 starts and 2 substitute appearances in pre-season. Takes the throw 20 yards out and gets it back, passes it to Clark. Lascelles backtracking and gives it to his keeper, Carl Darlow. From the edge of the box, it goes long. Sterry and Hayden are the targets. It's flicked off the head of Sean Mackey. And it's Newcastle throw. Sterry, 15 yards past halfway, takes it. Murphy on his thigh. Oh, good turn, Jacob Murphy. Muto up ahead. Longstaff square. He's left it for Clark. And forwards to Aarons. Level with the edge of the box on the left. Cuts in, back outside. Created the 3rd goal with a cross. Gives it to Clark this time. Looping ball into the area. Sterry heads down. Straight to a player in green. And they haven't quite been able to clear it. Hibs, now they might get a chance. Murphy almost pinches it, does pinch it from Mackey. Jacob Murphy, what can he do here? On the goal line, wins a corner.
All over the place, Hibs.
Just ran out of room there, Jacob Murphy, in the end, but play by Sterry and Murphy to get the ball back, and Key to take the corner. 3-1 up here on BBC Newcastle. Into the box, short to Hayden, back to Key. Now the cross comes in. Headed out of the area by defenders. And Aarons back to Lascelles on halfway. Here is Rolando Aarons again. Just returns it to the skipper once more. And Darlow receives it. Fernandez to Clark. Matty Longstaff, first time ball into the feet of Federico Fernandez. And Clark on the touchline, left-hand side, as some home supporters in the east stand on the far side, but like St James's Park. It's the geography, and start to head home. As the Newcastle fans acknowledge with that chant, we can see you sneaking out, given away by Hibs. Key to Muto, nice little flick through his legs to give it to Jacob Murphy. Rolando Aarons, first touch, left-footed into the box, right-hand side, ball in towards Muto, headed square by Hibs, headed out of the area by Mackey. Hayden's going to be first to the loose ball. 3 minutes of the 90 remain. Newcastle 3-1 up. Fernandez, we've got a player completely free on the left-hand side. Diagonal ball cut out though. Sterry's gone over there, hasn't he? And Aaron's come to this side. They've switched, Ando.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Forwards by Mackey, straight to Hayden, who's blocked it and then won it again with a sliding challenge, then ridden a challenge. Isaac Hayden dinked into the area towards Muto, chested behind. Corner kick, Newcastle United on the far left-hand side.
The left back for Hibs, Mackey's been all over the place. He hasn't defended well, he hasn't passed it well. He's just got caught on it there.
BBC Newcastle radio for the Northeast. Chance to get a fourth for Newcastle. Murphy standing on the goal line. Key with the in-swinging corner. Round the back where Fernandez heads towards goal. Headed off the line. Headed away to the edge of the area. Fernandez chases the ball down. Gives it back to Lascelles. And square to Sterry. Key back to Sterry in the Newcastle half, and Fernandez has his foot on the ball, and Newcastle can start again from the back. If you want to send us a message about the game, tweet at BBC Newcastle or by text, put BBC at the start. The number's 81333. Any observations about the match or any other Newcastle United topics, all very welcome. Muto, good play, held it up. held off a man, laid off to Fernandez on halfway. It's a return ball, Fernandez from Aarons, and then gives it again to Aarons. Oh, that's nice, through a gap of 3 Hibs players. Isaac Hayden in the box, can he pick somebody out? It slid behind. Corner kick, is it?
Yeah.
Last touch off a defender in green.
Could have been so much more. It's only 3, but it could have been so much more. Every time they've got forward, especially down Hibs left. They've got in behind Mackie all evening. Got loads of joy down our right side.
And he's going off, actually, Sean Mackie. Former Berwick loanee, 20 years old, and they've brought on Josh Doig, another youngster. Rolando Aarons to take this corner kick in swinger. Clock is ticked on to 90 minutes. It's headed away by the defender at the near post, and that is the final act of this pre-season friendly. Newcastle United have won it by 3 goals to 1. They went behind early in the first half. Stevie Mallon with the goal, left-footed shot from the edge of the area, fizzed past Carl Darlow and into the back of the net. But they were level through Joe Ellington's first goal in black and white. Almiron played it through for Manquillo. Good cross into the penalty area, and from 6 yards the Brazilian side-footed home, left-footed. Sean Longstaff made it 2 before half-time with a drilled right-footed effort from 18 yards across the keeper and into the bottom left corner, and Jamal Lascelles with a header from 6 yards from across from the left got the third. John Anderson, how would you sum it up?
It was a good walkout, good performance, a lot of pleasing aspects about it. Joe Linton was excellent, especially first half. I thought his movement, his hold-up play, everything about him was first class. It was a good walkout. Could have been more. It was only 3, but it could have been more. An awful lot more to take out of this game tonight than there was the Preston game at the weekend. I mean, obviously he played a lot of the big guns tonight, players who you would expect to be involved against Arsenal on Sunday week. But yeah, it was a good performance. They played quite well.
Yeah, the players have gone to the away fans who, while they may be unhappy with various things this summer, there's no lack of affection and respect for the players, is there?
No, I mean, the one thing about this group of players is they give you everything that they've got. I thought some of the football that they played tonight was excellent. Longstaff obviously being back as a bonus. Thought Shelby in midfield was Shelby, Hayden, Longstaff. 2 boys up front worked hard. Almiron should have scored twice. You know, not difficult chances you would have expected him to put away, but didn't. Hopefully, when he gets one, that the floodgates will open a little bit. So all in all, a good night.
We'll get some reaction from Steve Bruce shortly here on BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. Remember, Total Sport from 5 tomorrow, and every weekday evening we start with a roundup of the latest news from Newcastle United and Sunderland, and we hear from managers and players in that first half hour. Then from 5:30 every night we take your calls on both clubs. Some of the subs, in fact all of the subs, just going through a warm down out on the pitch at the moment. If you want to say something about the game or any Newcastle topics, tweet at BBC Newcastle or send a text to 81333 and start the message with BBC. Saint Etienne at home, 3 o'clock on Saturday is their final friendly match before the Premier League starts on Sunday week. 2 o'clock, Arsenal at home. Here in Edinburgh tonight, they have beaten Hibernian Newcastle United by 3 goals to 1.